So welcome back, it's Nick from the coach station, and now today's stop is at the backhand volley. Teach the fundamentals of the backhand volley. So let's get into it. Now, number one thing, always as being ready at the net, is racket tip up and the non-playing hand holding and supporting the throat of the racket. Definitely not holding here, definitely not holding here, definitely not doing this, definitely not doing this, but up in the middle, nice and tucked in, because we want to make a really quick turn onto the backhand volley. So racket tip up, continental grip, bouncy on the balls of the feet, ready to go, racket up. Now the backhand volley can be used for lots of different things. It can simply be get the ball back into court, or it could be more aggressive on it and keep that ball skidding nice and low into the back glass, or it could be that actually you have to play some form of defensive backhand volley. So now that we're ready, the first thing that's going to happen here is this upper body turns and the racket prepares. Now can you see the racket tip is pointing up here? Now that's quite important because later on, as the racket comes and strikes through the ball, that tip of the racket there allows the racket to come underneath and therefore apply backspin to the ball. As the shoulders turn, the non-playing hand takes the racket back and we end up with 90 degrees to the net with the shoulders. If you're liking the content, please give us a like and don't forget to subscribe. Now sometimes we've turned the shoulders here and the stance stays the same. So it's from that position that the ball's played. So the volley goes turn, non-playing hand, racket back, 90 degrees with the shoulders. Feet have stayed here, but I've pivoted. So the hips have pivoted, and you can see what's happened to my feet as well, is they're pivoted across, and then the racket then releases through the shot. Now the reason the shoulders turn to here is to allow later on the racket path to go straight through a line, like a linear pathway of the racket through the shot. If the shoulders didn't turn, then the ball would be played in front of the body and go down, or if played from the side here would be a lot flatter. So by turning the upper body allows the racket to travel in a linear fashion and then be able to play backspin down on the ball. Now sometimes, instead of just playing with our feet like this, square to the net, sometimes that volley's played so that the front foot goes forward into the ball. And that's to be able to transfer weight into the ball and to get more of a forceful shot on the backhand volley. But whether the feet are like this, square, or you step into the ball, the same thing happens with the upper body. The upper body turns and either plays here, like this, or steps into the ball. But that's determined on the speed of the incoming ball. So if the ball's fast and you haven't got time to react, then that upper body turn and pivot off an open stance is preferred because there's not time to get into the ball and step forwards. You can step forwards onto the ball if it's slower, or you've seen it early and you want to react nice and quick and put some force back onto the ball. Now the swing of the racket, the amount of force that you put on it is dependent on the speed of the incoming ball. So if that incoming ball is coming fast, then the racket just needs to block. So it's a very, very short swing. But if the ball's coming slower, you can not take a massive swing, but you can definitely increase the length of the swing a little bit to create a little bit more force on the ball. Provided that the other hand comes off and this maintains a stable contact position through the ball. Now it's worth mentioning about the angle of the racket face through the ball. So as it comes through, the racket face will be slightly open and the pathway coming down to put that backspin on the ball. So that downward path, open racket face, will allow the slice on the ball. Now the faster that happens, the faster that comes down, as provided it's still an open racket face, the more backspin will be put on the ball. With the setup here, what we're after is if the ball is relatively level across the net here, the racket will start above the height of the contact. So we've turned our shoulders, got the racket above the height of the contact, and then coming down through the contact here. So the racket will start above contact point. Imagine contact point being here. The racket starts above it and then comes down through contact, okay, and continues its downward path. So it's going to go here and then down through the shot. So it looks like this. It's going to go here, up, and then down through the path. So let's imagine if the ball is really low here. Now I can't start above and come down, so on this one, to impart the spin and to get that low off the back glass, I've got to open the racket face, but actually just push up through the ball. So it's that pathway here, starting there here, make the contact and then push up through the ball as you go and hit the ball to get it to go with backspin. Now, let's talk about this non-playing hand, because this is really important through the shot. Now, this non-playing hand has set us up here. Now, as we go through to strike on the ball, it goes here, it comes forward slightly and then releases. So it's going to release off, and so our shoulders are opening like this. Shoulders are opening, this left hand stays back, and this one goes forward to stop over rotation and actually to get a better, more consistent contact through the ball. So you can see it here that this hand goes up and then releases and stays with your body through the shot, stays with your body through the shot like this, 90 degrees. Now, if the ball is here and you've had to play like this, again, same thing, that hand comes off and forces the racket to stay on the same side of the body. The racket shouldn't be then just traveling across here and going off in this direction. So that's what this non-playing hand does. Now, this non-playing hand also acts as an opposing force. So in biomechanics, we have opposing forces. So one goes one way, one goes the other, and creates that force going through the ball here. So we want this one off and this one going forwards. And finally, once the shot's played, we need to get back to a great ready position, ready for the next shot. So it's play the shot, get back to a really great ready position, ready for the next ball. So in summary, the backhand volley. Nice tip of the racket facing up, quite close because it's easy to turn the upper body from this position. The racket tip stays up here because later on that's going to allow slice through the ball. So we're going to go racket tip up, upper body turns, step forward if needed. The other hand comes off to act as an opposing force, a balance, and to also stop over rotation and a much better and consistent contact point. And then afterwards, then get back to be ready for the next volley. And that's it. We've reached the end of the stop here. Hope you enjoyed the session on the backhand volley, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.